And then there is also Avatar comes to mind, but in my opinion, in a lot of ways, it takes many cues from Naruto, and from the popularity of Naruto. I don't know, maybe I'm just cynical, but they both deal with all these different elemental tribes. Like in Naruto, there's the Leaf Tribe, and the Sand Tribe, and the Sound Tribe, and the Fire Tribe. Just like in, as far as I know, in Avatar, there's like there's four or five different elemental tribes or benders, like water bender, earth bender, fire bender, air bender, etc. And the animation style, in my opinion, is pretty similar. That's kind of cynical, but on the other hand, you could say that Naruto, in a lot of ways, is a kind of a rip-off of Harry Potter, as far as themes and the like. That's another video entirely, and if you've read both of them, I think you can connect the dots. Anyway, regardless, so in America, there is the the problem is, I'm trying to get back on a track I was on before. Honestly, right now you're viewing something I did at the very end of all the recording, because I went back and looked and found that for some odd reason some of it didn't record. I had about 10 minutes of this huge long diatribe about One Piece's treatment in America, and why, and how it's really popular in Japan, and how 4Kids kind of destroyed that and tried to shoehorn it into something that it's not. And perhaps it's best that you not see that, because you probably click away if you haven't already. I'll try to summarize it very quickly. 4Kids got hold of the property, tried to make it a show for kids under 7 years old, and in doing so, they got rid of all the blood, all cigarettes, drinking. Not only that, they got rid of many perceived older themes, important moments in the character's development. I really can't cite any examples because I never wasted any time watching it, but I have read on Wikipedia and One Piece fan sites that they just made some really terrible choices and just destroyed the One Piece American dub. The voice actors were pure shit, and they just made it into a kid for children that are 7 years old. And in Japan, 7-year-old kids can handle it because our cultures are different. That's basically, without getting too much farther into it. So for that reason, I've stuck with the manga. And I also went on to explain the difference between manga and comics, and how manga becomes anime. But pretty sure if you care about what I'm saying, you pretty much already know. And if you don't, stay an anime and a manga fan, and eventually you'll find out. So, One Piece. I'm a huge fan of it, and only recently have I become a very big fan of it. I started reading it because it was heavily influenced by Dragon Ball Z. You already know I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, and many have said that One Piece is the spiritual successor to Dragon Ball Z, and I'm finding that out. The main heroes, Luffy and Goku, are very much alike, and there's always that underdog story, which I'll talk about later, which I've already talked about actually before, but you won't hear it until later. Look forward to that. But I'll say that there's one moment in the manga that really took me from being a passive fan, I'll read it once and again, to becoming obsessed with it, which I have been in the past couple weeks. Naomi is, up until where I am, she's the only girl character pretty much. and she really wasn't that interesting. It's a story about pirates, and she was a thief that steals from pirates, but Luffy, the main character who wants to be the king of the pirates, basically is his goal, and he's the captain of this group, and he's going around trying to find shipmates, and he wants her on his group, even though she's a thief and she already admits that she steals from pirates. Luffy's one of these like really simple, pure-hearted people, and he just sees the good in her, I guess. That's probably reading even too deep into it, but whatever. But anyway, so she just joins along, and eventually she steals all their gold and leaves them. So I was like, wow, that's not that very interesting of a character. But as they catch up with her later on, about 10 volumes into the manga, you find out why she steals from pirates. Her whole village, and the whole island she grew up on, is controlled by pirates. They moved in when she was really young, and they pretty much killed anybody who disobeyed them, and they demanded all this money, and her stepmother couldn't afford the money they asked for herself and for the 2 children, Nami and her foster sister, I guess you'd say. And so I hope I'm not spoiling anything if you care to watch it, but she only had enough for 1 adult or 2 children, and so she gave the money for the 2 children, and the pirate Arlong, who's taking over the island, killed her. And then Nami, who was really interested in maps and a really great map drawer, I guess you could say, was commissioned by Arlong to become his navigator, and he joined her she joined his pirate crew so that he wouldn't kill anybody else in the village. And they made a deal that if she stayed with him and drew all these maps for him and became one of his crew members, that if she collected like 100 million berries, which is their currency, then she could buy the village, and they would leave him alone, and they would never have to worry about Arlong's influence again. So that's why she became a thief, and that's why she steals from pirates, because she hates them, but she has to work for them. So it adds this kind of depth and complexity that I really didn't expect. And so throughout the earlier chapters, Nami was stealing all this gold from all the other pirates that they met along the way, and now you find out that she's like 3 million berries away from buying her village back from Arlong. And the whole time Luffy really doesn't care about her past. He doesn't even care. He doesn't fault her for stealing or anything. He's just like, come on, you're one of my crewmates. That it's as simple as that. He's already decided that she's one of his crew, and that she needs to come back with them. He basically came to the island rescuing her, but she's like, get out of here, I don't want you here, the whole time. So Luffy left, and then Arlong had deals with the Navy, which are supposed to be the good guys, but in some way they're viewed as the bad guys. It's kind of ambiguous. You know, they're the forces of justice in the world, and at the same time the pirates are supposed to be viewed as evil, but Luffy's pirates are kind of good in a way, because obviously the stars of the thing, they can't be bad, but they're viewed as evil in the Navy's eyes. So, and then there's also some evil people in the Navy. I mean, it's not like they're all good, just as in real life, you know. There's corruption in everywhere. So Arlong pays off this Navy guy that he's got under his boot to basically go and take all this money that Nami has collected, the 97 million berries, basically saying that she stole it from other pirates and he's going to give it back to the rightful owners. This is just a way for Arlong to keep him under control. So she goes to Arlong and she's like, what the fuck, man, I thought we had a deal. And he's like, yeah, I told you once you got 100 million berries you could have the village. It's not my fault that you don't have it. And the thing of it is like, he's a man of his word. That's what he kept touting. He was like, I'm a man of my word. If you give me 100 million berries, you can have the village. And so this whole time, you knew he was just gonna pull some bullshit like this. So that's when she just breaks down, and she had this tattoo. Well, I'll actually, you know what? I'll show you right now. This is what happens, and this is just. I'll talk about it later. The underdog stuff. Just watch this.